What is up, people, and welcome back to my Rags to Riches F1 2010 to 2014 career mode. This is the career mode where we go from one of the worst teams in F1 2010, work our way up through the ranks and through the teams, and try and get a drive for one of the best teams in F1 2014. We are currently in Season 4, the F1 2013 season, at Round 10, the Hungarian Grand Prix. And looking at the standings, after 9 rounds of the season, we are in P6, a Force India seat for the season. Same amount of points as Felipe Massa, and only 3 points ahead of Kimi Räikkönen. Way off the pace, though, to Mark Webber, Alonso, Rosberg, Hamilton, and Vettel. So it's looking like maybe trying to get a top 4 seat could be quite difficult, but we'll wait and see how the rest of the season pans out. Because, of course, we will get a contract offer at the end of this race, and depending on who it is to drive for, we could take that up and maybe try and push for more race wins and stuff like that. And, yeah, get better results, and hopefully try and drive for one of the top teams in the game and in F1 2014. But we'll just have to wait and see for that. Looking at the emails going into today's race teammate challenge, we are now finally beating Kimi Räikkönen on something. Championship points. He's destroyed us in the qualifying sessions. We're now starting to outrace him, though, so one might outrace here today and we will be equal on that one, but that's really the best that we can hope for. Race results data was a P7 last time around at the German Grand Prix. If you did miss the episode, go check that out in the card annotation on the top right hand corner of your screens. There's also a playlist up there as well for the whole entire series. If you have not seen any of these episodes before, go check that out straight away and then get yourselves up to date with this series, because we've come a long way. We have come a long way since episode 1. But looking at the Hungarian Grand Prix for today, it's going to be nice and dry, which is what we like to see. So without any further ado, let's over to the race weekend for the Hungarian Grand Prix. It is one shot qualifying time for today's Hungarian Grand Prix. And whereabouts are we going to qualify on the grid? Through the final corner, DRS activated using our rich mix fuel, and away we go. The leader setting a 120.1, I believe it is. So that is the time to beat. Not too sure how close we are going to get to Lewis Hamilton's times. I completely destroyed turn 1. That was not a good start to the lap, but we've still got a lot of way left to go. We could potentially build up the lap as we go along. So hopefully it's not too bad. We haven't lost out too much time. Okay, 2 seconds down on the pole time at the moment. Last time that was around P13. So hopefully once again we can qualify in the midfield area. I'm not too sure though. Through the final couple of corners, we need to hook these last 2 corners up and make sure that we get a good exit out of here. Here we go through the final corner down towards the line using curves on the curb, though. That's really unsettled the car. Down towards the line. Was the time good enough for P15? That's not good. We lost out a lot of time in that final sector. We lost our whole 7 tenths in that final sector. And if we were only 1.9 seconds off the pace, we would have been P11. That's where we would have been. But unfortunately, it is P15 here today. We never do well in qualifying. That means that Kimi Räikkönen has completely beaten us in the out qualifying. We're only 10 rounds into the season. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible stuff there from Kimi Räikkönen. No real surprise in qualifying. Lewis Hamilton gets pole position ahead of Nico Rosberg. It's a Mercedes 1-2 with Rosberg 57 thousandths of a second behind Lewis Hamilton. Very close there between the 2 Mercedes drivers. Then Sebastian Vettel in 3rd, Mark Webber 4th, Fernando Alonso in 5th, and Felipe Massa in 6th. So the team's going in 2 by 2 in the grid. Unfortunately, we let that down because if we qualified in 8th place, it would have been really nice indeed. Because Kimi Räikkönen is in 7th, Jenson Button 8th, Sergio Perez 9th, and Nico Hülkenberg rounds out the top 10. So what can we do from 15th on the grid for today's Hungarian Grand Prix? Let's find out. It's race day for today's Hungarian Grand Prix, starting in P15 on the grid. Not the best of qualifying sessions, but we'll be looking to see what we can do in today's race. 0% chance of rain. Race strategy for today. Tyre wear, we know is going to be bad here. It was bad last time around at the German Grand Prix. It's probably going to be even worse at today's Hungarian Grand Prix. So starting on the option tyres, pitting for the primes on lap 8 of this 18-lap race. We may even have to make it a 2-stopper depending on what the tyres are like. We just have to wait and see for that. Teammate battle. Out-qualified by Kimi Räikkönen. 10-0. That's really, really bad. But hopefully we can get him back in the race. If we can get him back in the race, it'll be 5-all on that one. And it won't seem as bad. But nothing else really to talk about. So let's head down to the track and get today's race underway. There is Lewis Hamilton lining up in pole position for today's race. It's Mercedes 1-2 with Nico Rosberg 2nd. Kimi Räikkönen is in 7th place with myself in 15th. What can we do from 15th on the grid? Not the best qualifying sessions, but we'll be looking to improve, and we always have a good first corner because you can just dive up the inside. But it's now going to 5 red lights, and it is lights out, and away we go for today's Hungarian Grand Prix. Straight away moving over to the right-hand side to get that inside line down in towards turn 1, using all of our curves available to us and trying to pick that gap down in towards the first corner, going up the inside of all these guys. Can we go up the inside of the Sauber as well? Yes, we can. And there we go, up into P9 already. What an incredible start it has been. But not beating our teammate or Felipe Massa. And those two guys are very, very important in the championship. We're having a little look up the inside of Lewis Hamilton. Fernando Alonso going very slowly through turn 2. Blocking up, that's not Lewis Hamilton, sorry. That's Jenson Button in P8. He does not drive for McLaren in F1 2013. Haydon, what on earth were you thinking there? But now behind Fernando Alonso in P7, then it's Felipe Massa, and then it's my teammate of Kimi Raikkonen in P5. We were doing such a good job on that opening lap, but then we just lost it on the curbing, on the guttering through the penultimate corner there. And unfortunately, that's lost the tail end of Fernando Alonso. But we still have hope that maybe we can catch up to the 2 Ferrari drivers and, of course, my teammate as Button's looking to go for the overtake. I'm not even going to move. I didn't even have to move there to defend against Jenson Button. He just went like nearly straight into the back of me, lifted off the throttle, and hold on to P8 there. Okay, then Jenson Button's going to have a great opportunity to go for an overtake down in towards turn 1. I'm going to take the defensive inside line. There goes JB on the left-hand side, round the outside down towards turn 1, taking the inside line, holding the defensive line. And there we go, holding on to P8 still. Alonso still ahead of me, though. He's batting with his teammate of Felipe Massa and trying to get involved with P5 as well, with Kimi Raikkonen. So we just have to wait and see how that develops. But while that battle is happening, it's just allowing me to hold on to the back of the 2 Ferrari guys. Right, starting to pull back in Fernando Alonso and the guys ahead of him. Look at that, I've got DRS on these guys. This is the first time in ages that I've been able to catch up with somebody. Hopefully, it does continue. Jenson Button having a little look up the inside there, but not able to do anything through turn 1. But tyre wear is now becoming an issue. Just look at that. Tyre wear is seriously becoming an issue now. So we need to think about that too. But we're coming into pits on the next lap. So hopefully, fingers crossed, they hold out. Okay, tyre wear is seriously becoming an issue now. I'm really, really struggling with the car. Just look at the tyres. Just look at them. Red. Worse than we had in Germany. But I'm determined to hold out to the pit stop phase. Struggling to get the car turned in for turn 1. And that's going to allow Jenson Button to have a little look at the switchback. I think we did actually make contact because I lost the back end. I kept up with the Ferraris in that stint there, but just losing them now because I just have no grip on the tyres at all. No grip whatsoever, but I don't want to do a 2-stopper because that's going to lose me out so much time to the rest of the field. So my only option really is to try and hold out and see whether we can actually make it to the end of this lap on these tyres. But look at the grip level, it's so bad. Not only have we lost the back of those Ferraris and of course my teammate as well, I'm just, oh no, we do not want any side pod glitches here today. That's the last thing we need. But we've actually got a huge old train behind us. Look at me drifting as I come into the pit lane just because I have no grip at all. No grip at all. But there we go. Finally made it into the pit lane. And the tyre, look at that. The tyres were dead. They'd fallen off the cliff and they'd splattered on the floor. That is how dead they were. And we may as well have just done the 2-stop because everybody's overtaken me because of being held up in a pit stop phase. Well, I say everyone actually know it was just Jenson Button, but I've still lost out a bit of time there to some of the other drivers. So we'll see what we can do over the course of the rest of this race. But I really haven't got many hopes at the moment. Okay, we've got a few drivers into the pits at the moment. So whereabouts is this going to put me amongst the other drivers? We've got a Sauber there on the right-hand side. Can we come out ahead of him? It looks like we can. There we go. Coming ahead of that Sauber. Out in P9 at the moment. So only losing the 1 position to Jenson Button, which we would like to get back. So we're going to try our hardest to try and get the position back from JB at the moment. We are closing in on him ever so slightly, but we just have to wait and see. Okay, this is going to be our best opportunity to overtake Jenson Button. We need to do it sooner rather than later because, of course, our tyres are going to deteriorate. So here we go. DRS right behind Jenson Button, using a whole lot of curves as well. Here we go. Down in towards turn 1. Under braking. Up the inside on Jenson Button. Getting the car turned in. And there we go. Job done on JB. Up into P8 for this Hungarian Grand Prix. And exactly where we were before we came into the pit stop phase. So that's pretty decent indeed. Unfortunately, it's not enough to catch up to Alonso, Massa and Raikkonen. But, of course, we will get them back as the rest of the season goes on. Final 2 laps then here at this Hungarian Grand Prix. Nico Hülkenberg's going to have a great opportunity to go for an overtake down in towards turn 1. He's right to my turn. I'm going to use a bit of curves to defend against. Take the inside line. Is he going to go around the outside? No, he's not actually. I thought he was going to try the move there down in towards turn 1. But 2 laps left to go. Tyre wear is looking okay-ish. It is going to be bad over these next 2 laps, but I think I may be able to hold on. I've just been running lean mix throughout most of the laps here, so it's sort of helped the tyres. So if you want help on F1 2013, run lean mix. It definitely helps save the tyres. So that's what I'm going to be doing, and just bumping up into rich when we get into the start-finish straight. Final lap then at the Hungarian Grand Prix as we shut the door there on Nico Hülkenberg on the exit of the final corner, trying to help ourselves out as much as we possibly can down in towards turn 1. The gap is just way too big. There's no way that Nico Hülkenberg can close up that gap down in towards turn 1, but will the tyres hold out? That is the question. Look at the tyre wear. It's not as bad as it was earlier on, but will the tyres hold out? We're just going to have to wait and see over the rest of this lap. We're so far behind the leaders, though, so they're probably going to be crossing the line any second now. I've got a huge old train behind me, so if the tyres do go, I am just going to drop down the field like a stone in water. But Lewis Hamilton wins today's Hungarian Grand Prix. Good result there for the Brit, looking to try and close up to Sebastian Vettel in the championship. So we'll have to wait and see whether that worked out or not. I reckon he's closed up quite a few points, but definitely not retaken the lead of the championship. Raikkonen has dropped down into P7, so I feel like he's not going to overtake me in the championship, which is good news. But Massa's definitely going to overtake me. That's unfortunate there that Felipe Massa's going to overtake me. But into the last couple of corners now. Let's focus on our own racing as we go into the final couple of corners now. Just trying to hold the car, trying to keep it through the last couple of corners. We know the tyre wear is bad, so we're not going to risk everything. Trying to keep it off the guttering because we know the car can spin out on those. And final corner now, just keep it nice and calm. Get down the power now. Open the curves up, down towards the line. And there we go. And nice and easy P8. Not the best of results. The driver very, very happy with that because we started down in 15th place. But P8, decent result. Unfortunately, it is behind our teammates. We did not manage to outrace our teammate here today. But P8, good at the end of the day. Good points on board. And that's really going to help us in the Drivers' Championship. I feel like we will keep hold of P7. But we will lose. We won't lose out to Kimi Raikkonen and drop down into P8. So fingers crossed that is the result. But Lewis Hamilton is the race winner here today. Only catching up to Sebastian Vettel by 7 points. Because Vettel finished in 2nd place with Nico Rosberg 3rd. Mark Webber in 4th with Felipe Massa in 5th. Then it's Fernando Alonso in 6th. Kimi Raikkonen, my teammate, in 7th. With myself in 8th. There's Nico Hülkenberg 9th. And Sergio Perez gets the final championship point here today with Jenson Button and Adrian Sutil just missing out. Any surprises in today's race? Daniel Ricciardo finishing behind 2 of the back markers today. And there were no DNFs. So no drivers not finishing from today. We need to have a few DNFs over the rest of the season. I want to see a lot of DNFs. That's going to give me a great opportunity to catch up into the championship. Maybe at races like Singapore. But let's look at the Drivers' Championship after 10 rounds of this season. And Lewis Hamilton now only 15 points behind Sebastian Vettel in the championship. We are now 6 points behind Felipe Massa. So he's got 6 points on us at the moment in the Drivers' Championship. We're going to have to catch that up over the course of the season if we want to get a Force India seat or higher. Because right now, we are driving for Toro Rosso, which isn't exactly where we want to be at the end of the day, and only 1 point ahead of Kimi Raikkonen. But we will be looking at which team we will be driving for in this F1 2013 rest of the career mode. Will we be driving for Lotus or the new team? You're going to have to find out in the next episode. But any of you guys that follow me on Twitter will already know, because I would have done a poll a couple of days ago deciding which team it will be. But Kimi Raikkonen there in 8th place behind me, looking at the Constructors' Championship now, and it's 16 points the gap in the Constructors' Championship. So Mercedes increasing the lead over Infinity Red Bull Racing to 16 points. Ferrari unfortunately now getting away from us, which is slightly disappointing. But then you've got Vodafone, McLaren, Mercedes, who are quite a bit off the pace. So at the moment we are staying ahead of those guys. But that's it for today's Hungarian Grand Prix. If you have enjoyed the episode, don't forget to smash a like on today's video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so for daily Formula 1 content. And don't forget to share this video with your friends. And I will see you next time at the Belgian Grand Prix, whichever team we have decided to drive for. But until then, it's goodbye from me.